The Justice Brothers U-Pick, which is our U-Pick operation, we have over 75 varieties of citrus grown out there. At Justice Brothers Ranch, our commercial location, we have a lot fewer varieties, but we have a lot more trees of each. So the big difference in between varieties kind of covers a full range. You have different navel varieties, which are all a very similar sibling to one another, and then you've got things like tangerines versus navels, which are kind of totally different things. All citrus actually originated from just 4 different types of plant, and they were all kind of interbred with one another and intentionally cultivated to create the diversity that we have today, which is literally hundreds of varieties. But the way that we keep a variety going actually has nothing to do with the seeds inside the fruit. We actually clone the varieties that we want through a process called grafting. So every leaf, every fruit on the tree has a bud, and you actually cut a bud off of that tree and you graft it onto another tree. So the bottom part of the tree, which we refer to as the rootstock, that rootstock is chosen for its performance in a particular geographical area and soil type. So in Arizona, for instance, we have a handful, but right here in the Salt River Valley where I farm, the Seville sour orange does really well. And then what you do is you take the fruiting part, which we refer to as the scion, and you take a bud off of that and you graft it, literally cutting a little sliver into the rootstock and slide that bud in there and then tape it up. And as that wound that you caused on the tree heals, those 2 completely separate trees fuse together to make one cooperative organism. So the rootstock carries all the nutrients from the soil and brings it up into the tree, and then the scion's foliage helps complete that photosynthetic process and converts those nutrients into things like carbohydrates that the tree needs to keep on growing. And so in that way, you can preserve that identical variety as we go on from there. One of the best examples of this is a tree called the parent Washington navel. Now the Washington navel is a very old navel variety, and the reason why it's called the parent Washington is because it is the American navel cultivar from which all other navels were propagated. So if you come into an orchard like mine, and I've got so many trees of a Washington navel or so many trees of a Valencia, those trees are not siblings to one another. They are exact identical clones of one another throughout the entire section of those trees.